They need to taste fucking good.
2007 New York. We meet Lucy Mirando, the CEO of the Mirando Corporation, who welcomes guests at her inauguration. Lucy reminisces about her cruel grandfather, the founder of the corporation, and assures the attendees that she will lead Mirando into a new era of caring for life and the environment. Furthermore, Lucy claims that she's nothing like her predecessor, her twin sister Nancy, who had no concern for the fate of humanity. Lucy discusses the issue of global hunger and claims that the world has finally witnessed a miracle. She introduces the guests to a super pig, which was found on a Chilean farm and later brought to the USA. Through natural breeding, scientists managed to reproduce another 26 unique specimens of super pigs.
They are like nothing on earth.
Lucy Mirando reveals that the corporation sent super pigs to 26 different countries, where each animal ended up in the hands of respective farmers. The new owners were tasked with raising the super pig according to their own traditions and culture. And now Lucy announces a contest for the biggest and most beautiful super pig. Each farmer must strive to grow the best super pig, and the results will be judged by the popular veterinarian and zoologist, Dr. Johnny Wilcox. Exactly 10 years later, Dr. Wilcox will crown the winner live on the Magical Animals program, and all the super pigs will finally be presented to the public. Lucy claims that super pigs will have minimal impact on the environment, consuming minimal food and producing minimal waste, and most importantly, they will be incredibly delicious. What do you think? Would such an approach help us solve the problem of hunger, or should we focus on more humane cultivation of plant-based food? Share your thoughts in the comments. 10 years have passed. A young girl named Maya lives in a South Korean village with her grandfather and spends all her time with their super pig named Okja. They wander through the forest and Maya feeds Okja with persimmons. After a while, Maya stumbles upon a pond teeming with fish and calls out to Okja, telling her that she wants stewed fish for dinner. The massive super pig runs towards Maya and immediately jumps into the water, stunning the fish and allowing Maya to catch them. Meanwhile, Maya's grandfather, Hibon, calls her home for dinner, but she doesn't respond, having fallen asleep right on top of Okja. Soon, Maya wakes up and decides to head back home through a shorter but risky path. Suddenly, Maya stumbles and falls off a cliff. She manages to grab onto a rope that Okja is barely holding onto, slowly sliding towards the edge. Maya asks Okja to climb back up, but Super Pig gets an idea on how to save the girl. A frightened Maya worries about Okja and, climbing down from a branch, sets out to find her. Soon, she locates Okja safe and sound and offers persimmons in gratitude for saving her. But Okja just lifts herself to embrace Maya. During dinner that evening, Hibon tells Maya that Mundo, an employee of the Korean branch of the Mirando Corporation, is coming to visit them. Maya doesn't understand why he will be coming, because they've already bought Okja back from the corporation. The next day, Mundo reaches the farm, struggling up the steep slope. Hibong offers him water and wonders why he's alone, but Mundo explains that the others are lagging behind. Meanwhile, Maya brushes Okja's teeth, and Mundo asks her to fetch the black box from under Okja's ear, which holds all the data about the super pig's health. Finally, the exhausted Dr. Johnny Wilcox climbs the hill with his film crew. Recovering from the arduous climb, Dr. Wilcox prepares to go live on air to announce the long-awaited conclusion of the contest and introduce Okja. But Hibon and Maya don't know the English language, and they don't fully grasp what's going on. Wilcox marvels at Okja's size and health, curious to know how a simple Korean farmer achieved such results. However, Hibon claims that Okja lived freely just running around.
Just let her run around. How beguiling.
Wilcox awards Hibon and Maya with honorary ribbons, declaring them the winners. During a break in filming, Maya asks Wilcox for his autograph, and he's surprised to see that he's still popular in Korea. Soon, Hibon interrupts Maya's conversation with Dr. Wilcox and tells her that they must visit Maya's parents' graves right now. Reluctantly, Maya agrees, and she and her grandfather head into the woods. Then Hibon hands Maya a solid gold pig figurine, saying it will replace Okja after they part ways. Maya doesn't quite understand what he means, and he explains that the Super Pig contest is over, and now the Mirando Corporation is taking all the animals back. But Maya is sure they bought Okja from the corporation, as her grandfather had been sending money to them. Hee-bong is forced to reveal the truth to his distressed granddaughter. They weren't allowed to buy back Okja, so he used the saved money to buy Mija a golden pig. Mija is overwhelmed with anger, and Hee-bong tells her that Okja has become the best of the best, and the corporation has big plans for her. Okja will spend the night in Seoul and will be taken to NYC in the morning. Enraged, Maya throws the golden pig away and rushes home. Returning to the farm, Maya discovers that Okja has already been taken. Upset, she runs down the slope and onto the road, hoping to stop Okja's captors, but unfortunately, she finds no one. In the evening, Maya returns home and Hee-bong invites her to dinner as if nothing happened. Suddenly, he notices that Maya is heading somewhere, and she confidently declares that she's going to Seoul to bring Okja back home. Would you embark on such a journey to save your beloved pet, or would you resign yourself to their sad fate? Share your opinion in the comments. Grandfather tries to stop Maya and reminds her that she doesn't have the money for this journey. But Maya takes the golden pig and breaks the piggy bank, collecting as many coins as she can. Then Hee-bong tells Maya the truth that Okja was always meant to be sold for meat. This news angers Maya even more, and she runs away, ignoring her grandfather's pleas to stop. The next day, Maya arrives at the Mirando Corporation's branch in Seoul. She explains to the secretary that she's here for Okja, but the secretary doesn't want to listen and suggests she call him up. Maya then tries to reach Mundo, but the operator doesn't understand her language. Suddenly, Maya notices the secretary leaving and decides to break into the office at any cost. Finally, Maya rushes inside, but there's no one in the office. While escaping from the secretary and a guard, Maya suddenly stops by a window and sees Okja outside. Mundo supervises the loading of Okja into a cargo container and forbids anyone from taking photos. Maya rushes to save Okja and runs out of the building, but the truck is already driving away. However, the determined girl doesn't give up and continues running after the truck, miraculously catching up with it and jumping onto the roof. Soon, the truck approaches a tunnel that is too low, and Maya jumps off the roof at the last moment and hangs onto the back door. Meanwhile, a Mirando vehicle encounters a mysterious black truck on the road. The driver of the black truck orders the Mirando vehicle to stop, but Mundo and the driver don't take the masked person seriously and don't fulfill his request. Then the black truck overtakes the vehicle and a group of masked individuals emerges from its cargo container and forces Mundo to buckle up. Mundo looks at the strangers in confusion, but eventually complies. The masked individuals explain that they are taking them hostage, but have no intention of harming them. As they enter another tunnel, the black truck crashes into the Mirando truck, causing Maya to fall off. The people in masks break into the cargo container, threatening with weapons and declaring that they come in peace. Mundo is unable to escape, calls the police and claims that they were attacked by dangerous criminals. At the same time, the masked individuals free Okja and lead her out of the container. Suddenly, Maya's voice is heard from afar. Okja hears her and immediately runs towards her. She then lifts Maya onto her back and rushes out of the tunnel. The people in the black truck start chasing after them. Lifts Maya onto her back and rushes out of the tunnel. The people in the black truck start chasing after them. Mundo also orders the driver to follow, but the driver hasn't signed a contract with the Mirando Corporation yet and refuses to obey. Meanwhile, Maya pushes Okja into an underground passage where the super pig smashes everything in its path and frightens people to the core. However, they are still pursued by the masked individuals and Mirando employees. The masked people help Maya and protect Okja from tranquilizer darts. In the tunnel, the Mirando driver notices a label on the truck and discovers that they were intercepted by the members of the Animal Liberation Front, ALF. Animal rights activists explain to Maya that they want to help her, and they hurry to load Okja into their truck. However, they are already being pursued by the police. One of the ALF members scatters glass marbles, stopping the police officers, but Mundo continues to chase after the truck, and Maya urges Okja to defecate right onto him. Breaking free from the chase, the group members remove their masks and introduce themselves to Maya as J, K, Red, Silver, and Blonde. J, the leader of ALF, communicates with Maya through K, who acts as a translator. Jay explains that they rescue animals from slaughterhouses, zoos, and laboratories, and now want to save Okja. Maya is very grateful to the activists. Jay also reveals that one of ALF's main goals is to show the world the cruelty of humans towards animals. He explains that before the celebration in New York, Ocha was meant to be taken to a laboratory in New Jersey. It turns out that all the super pigs are mutated animals created in the Mirando laboratory, where experiments are performed on them, and the story about finding the first specimen in child is a fabrication. Jay assures Maija that millions of super pigs have already been sent to slaughterhouses, and the contest was just a publicity stunt to showcase the 26 cutest pigs among the animals mutilated by Mirando. Buyers wouldn't purchase genetically modified meat after all, and if the Mirando Corporation isn't stopped, genetically modified super pig meat will fill store shelves worldwide, as they spent all 10 years of the contest growing millions of super pigs. Aleph wants to expose the truth about super pig cultivation to the world and expose Mirando, but they need to infiltrate the laboratory and obtain video evidence. However, this isn't an easy task, and only Ocha can help them. Jay explains that they want to replace the black box with a hidden camera and send Ocha to the USA.
And we'll be saving millions of super pigs like Ocha from death.
The activist promises Maija that Ocha won't be harmed in the laboratory, as she needs to look perfect for the show in New York. Furthermore, they have a clear plan for rescuing Ocha from the celebration. However, Jay is willing to abandon this plan if Maija doesn't approve. After listening to the activists, Maija asks them to return Ocha to the mountains. Kay translates her words as agreement to the rest. Then, one by one, the animal rights activists jump out of the truck, and as a parting piece of advice, Kay tells the bewildered Maija to learn English. The police immediately surround the truck, with only Maija and Ocha inside. Meanwhile, at the Mirando Corporation headquarters, Lucy Mirando and her associates watch the news and discuss the unsuccessful abduction of Ocha. Lucy is concerned that ALF members view her as a psychopath, just like all of her relatives. She had always been looking for ways to transform the despised factory into a respectable company that brought super pigs to the world, and now everything is falling apart because of the story with Ocha. Soon, Lucy comes up with a plan. She instructs her allies to orchestrate a heartwarming reunion between the girl and her super pig at the celebration in New York. The aim is to divert attention from the kidnapping and compromising rumors. Furthermore, Lucy intends to make Maija the corporate spokesperson, and arrangements are quickly made for the girl to fly to NYC. At the same time, the animal rights activists observe what is going on in the laboratory. Drunk Johnny Wilcox introduces Ocha to a male pig and forces them to mate. All ALF members feel very guilty as Kay admits that Maija was actually against their plan. Jay attacks Kay and expels him from ALF for violating the rules. Wilcox continues to drink and mistreat Ocha. He takes out a device for extracting meat samples and punctures her body several times to soon present the meat to the tasters.
That was the best I've ever had. The best of the best.
The day of the celebration arrives. During the parade, all the spectators are given sausages made from Mirando's super pigs. Maija is prepared to go on stage and is sent to change into a formal dress with Lucy Mirando's autograph. Reluctantly, she goes to change and suddenly notices Jay. The leader of ALF apologizes to Maija using written posters and warns her not to look at the screen during their operation to free Ocha. Then Jay leaves the room through a window and all ALF members get ready to execute the plan. Meanwhile, Frank Dawson, an associate of Lucy, informs her that her sister Nancy has arrived at the celebration, which greatly unnerves Lucy. Johnny Wilcox warms up the crowd before announcing the contest results and soon invites Lucy Mirando onto the stage. Lucy introduces Maija and Ocha to the audience, who are about to be reunited. Maija offers a persimmon to her beloved super pig, but Ocha behaves strangely and ignores the treat. At the same moment, the animal rights activists start broadcasting horrifying videos from the laboratory. Jay steps onto the stage and implores Maija to look only at him and not to turn around. Lucy demands that the screens be smashed, but it's already too late. The crowd becomes furious from what they witness.
Mirando is F-U-C-K-E-D.
During the ensuing chaos, the ALF members pull Maija and Ocha away from the crowd, but they're soon pursued by special forces, and they lose Ocha again. Lucy and Nancy reunite, and Nancy takes matters into her own hands to solve her sister's problems. She instructs Frank Dawson to destroy all the super pigs, including Ocha. Nancy is confident that this scandal won't affect sales if the meat is cheap. Kay, the expelled translator, comes to the aid of his comrades, and now all of them, along with Maija, head to the slaughterhouse to find and save Ocha. Arriving at the factory, Maija and the animal rights activists call for Ocha. Soon, the distressed girl notices that they're pushing Ocha into the building for slaughter. Maija infiltrates the factory to witness the meat production process. Finally, Maija finds the room where the unfortunate animals are being slaughtered, and in horror, she discovers that Ocha is next. Maija approaches the butcher and, hoping to appeal to his compassion, shows him a photo of herself with Ocha. At that moment, Nancy Mirando arrives at the factory and demands that they quickly finish off the